Alright, so yeah, this mic should be working. So basically, anytime I make a video about a software, this is the third or fourth time I made a software and I like documented. So anyone who I share with, obviously that anyone on the internet can have access to it. That was the purpose for Run One Pinner, where anyone who has the need for it, who have like a trouble managing their different tabs, different applications in their Windows 11 experience, they can pin easily with just Alt plus P, and that simplifies things a lot and makes multitasking way easier. And while joining A levels, I come across another problem which I love to solve somehow. That while you're studying A levels, past papers are one of the key factors or most important things that you have to keep it rolling across like 2 years of this program, right? As you like prepare for the from the books, from the teachers, the lectures, you have to carry the past paper as well. You have to practice that and yeah, keep it ongoing. And but it the thing is, there's quite a I felt like there's a quite resistance or quite a there's too much differences between a lecture or a book and past papers. What if we are doing, let's suppose, so basically I was just creating, it's called Run One A Levels Tutor powered by AI, just because it looks cool, I guess. Basically what it does is, I'll let's start with the logic, the problems, and the solution I come up with. So the problem was that when anyone or I'm doing any questions, if the teachers tell me to, and if I wanna like, if I understand a concept, how do I just imply it so quickly into past paper? I don't have to buy this like this, what is it called, topical past papers. I don't have to buy that kind of thing. What I have to do is just search it up. Like I've studied let's right now I'm studying mathematics in binomials series, and I can just type in binomials and it would like search up all its database and it would pull up everything related to binomials that has come up across past papers. And it would basically during like if you are implementing AI, there's like a problem with hallucination, and to remove that, I'm just, the thing I wanted to implement was if I could like add a source for it, like as ChatGPT does, like any other thing does. Like it would have a little source area and would say this question that I'm referring to, and like I was talking about binomials, and if you've just learned about binomials and you don't want to just go through the whole past paper topical and find each of the binomial question from each year, that's a lengthy process. It takes about like 5 to 10 minutes a day, multiply by 365 into 2 for 2 years. And if that resistance could be resolved, the only thing is to make that digital, because it's a real big book that doesn't need to be read. So what I've done is to minimize that is Run One AI tutor or A level tutor basically does is it digitalizes all of the past papers, and I will show you right here. If I'm like, if I go to this database which I'm using Superbase for this, I can go to my buckets. It says computer science, and let's take the analogy for computer science, and I have all of the, for the demo purpose I've only like uploaded 2025 variants of this paper. So we have like summer 2025 and I believe we have winter 2025. We do not. So we have all of the summer 2025 papers here, and what I've done is extracted these papers using like a PDF to file or binary extractor and put it on the vector database on Supabase, so AI can fetch it very easily. You understand? And I will show you the backend too, which is kind of the coolest part of this project. But f- I believe I didn't specify this because it doesn't work. This project is also abandoned, just like the others. Instagram Reel Downloader was abandoned. Random Pinner was one of the best thing I've made, one of the only great products I've made. And so basically, you have all the past papers from 2025 summer, and what you do is use an OCR or just a simple extractor. And what you do is, I'm going to show you it. I'm going to open up terminal. I'm going to start up n8n, which is used for the back end to keep it super simple and easy to understand for you and for myself, because things can get sketchy real fast here. Okay. So I put the summer past paper 2025 here, and I've made another folder which says textbook, and it has like the textbook of the computer science, which is divided into 4 parts because one PDF is way larger to handle the context system. And I believe there's like uploading threshold that I cannot cross. So I've divided the PDF into 4 different parts, and yeah, you can see 4, 3, 2, 1. I didn't start from 0. And if I go to the database while this n8n is starting, let me show you one thing, which is we have table editor and we have pages. So before I show you the backend, let's understand this. So I've took the PDF and I've used the backend to make a vector database. It gives a code, like there's embedding codes that has been given to different parts of the past papers, and this embedding code, which is somehow now can't open it, is holding this context. Question ID, this is the question number, this is the marks. So how I've embedded it using JavaScript is I have, if I could like simplify it, I have made a system where it analyzes where the question is and it pulls out that. If it recognizes the question 1A, it pulls out that question with its total marks, and it stores as a full embedding, and that's the, let's say it's the number 1 embedding, and that's the question 1. And it, as can be seen here, question number 1, question ID is, this is from 9618 code for computer science, and 11, it's 11 paper. We have May June, it's the component 1, A 2025. So it's kind of like a simple extraction, if I could say. And this is the process time, which isn't required, but times are important. And the max marks is kind of like pulling, because Cambridge follows a very repetitive format for their PDFs and marking scheme and, let's say, question paper, except the numericals and the diagrams we have. But mostly I probably know that the max marks is written on the top right corner and it's not on the left or the bottom, so I can like get the code to able to extract on the top right side and look for the max marks or the marks, and it would have 75 or 100 depending on the paper, and depending on the paper and the component. And it could look for the first paper, like I've divided it for the first page. It only scans for, because Cambridge always follows the same format, it can scan for the paper name, the paper code, the paper timing, the session, the year. And for the second page, we start analyzing the questions, and we look for the Q1 and the Q2. And once it picks that the code, it kind of grabs it with the till the question 2 starts, or the question 1a. Like we have, if you have like question 1 and then we have pause of it, it can also pick up that. And indeed the N8N is working. I'll show you the backend, which looks amazing. And we have embedding for, we have 31 records, and I believe it consists of all of storage, core size. Let me show you. Because I've opened it, I would like to explain that these are the SQL queries you run to create the database. So this is just creating the create table. It's creating the table pages, which is like, where is it? This one. If not exists, if it exists, it wouldn't throw an error. And we have like, this one is like foreign key. We have studied in computer science, which is awesome. And we have other variables that we can store into. And if we go to, let's open up anytime. So we have that, and that's kind of not important to discuss. And what I can, so we were in this section, and so we have the ID, which is just for the notification that this isn't recorded in the backend. So I was explaining the chat API. So we have 3 APIs here, or which are needed. Let's make this active. Absolutely amazing. So this is what you see here. Let me see if it's recording. So what you see here is basically the embedding, how it kind of gets the files from the storage, the Supabase storage, or the database, and it kind of like grabs it, puts it through a tunnel, and converts into a vector, so it can be stored into a vector database. Okay, and it can be fetched by OpenAI embedding API and the chatbot itself. So I can just go through this quickly. When I click this, it's gonna run this node, what's the call it, and in the N8N sketch is for Arduino. This is workflow. So it gets, so we have like 24 of the files in this. Where did it go? So we have 24 of this database in storage. We have 24 of these past papers, and this kind of like pulls using the post method. And we have the URL, which shouldn't be shared. And because it's I think it's not gonna be a problem. So I pull up this from the database. It's gonna list like all of that 24 PDF we have. It's gonna get all the configuration files, etc. from that. And while it does that, it's gonna download that locally, I believe, and it's gonna go through the structured AI, unstructured API. This isn't needed. It can be done like from the extract. It just uses a simple extraction thing. This isn't needed. Like this connects here, how do you, yeah, this can be done like this. uh, and basically 13. So what we do is, how many PDFs did you have? 24. So each of the 24 PDF have about 10.7 pages on average, and kind of these things get like divided into pages, and then we can store it into the database, structured database, vector database. Actually, I'm gonna show you another one. Yeah, this one is actually what I was using. So this is the local extract from file. So if I run this, I get 24 input, and we output 257 because it's the pages instead of the whole PDFs. And this kind of creates chunks and metadata. Metadata is kind of this thing. This is the metadata. It has all of the highlights of what has been done, like right in the document. This is what it does. And we chunks basically mean, like, because we are embedding question by question, it kind of like chunks it up, so it can be stored in chunks by questions. So every interaction with the advanced machine learning slash artificial intelligence is done correctly and efficiently, so that there's no hallucination, and the answers are as correct as possible. Because as of educational tool and the one that's gonna help in learn specific things, we have to be very strict with the rules, and it gets stored in the Supabase vector store using embedding OpenAI APIs, and this kind of loads it up. uh, Pretty simple here. Now this is where it gets fun. The tricky part here is basically, open the last one. Wait, the tricky part here is this thing. Because it's all Java, you have to understand how do you handle the format of the Cambridge marking scheme and question paper, and it cannot readily do diagrams and mathematical equations. So what you have to do is use advanced OCR by Google or something, and use their API, which costs much more than this free thing we are using, and use that. And once we run the code, it kind of chunks it up into these kind of things by question. This is where all the magic happens, and then we store it. Now this is feeding the data to the Supabase vector store. How do you pull this out? How's the user interface like? How can I interact? To do that, we have another workflow which is chat API. So once the webhook is called, and it's gonna edit fields. I don't know what that is. So it's this is basically like formatting, so that each question is provided to the AI as a question. This is just formatting. It does not do any kind of real job. And this is the AI agent node. It uses the open AI chat model, and we can use any of the API here, but we have to use embedding OpenAI for the retrieval of the Supabase vector store, because if we use the for the like if we try to save the anything, embed anything into a vector store, we have to use the same AI for retrieval and embedding for both, or it gives out errors. And they have like different parameters. If I could open this up, you can see it has like the dimension of 1536 each of, if I use like some else, which is can't see here, but if I use like OpenLlama, or I believe like other providers provide, they have like different low dimension and high depending the pricing. And I can use the Superbase. This is what I use the tool, and I can use any of the chat models. This is not related to this, and this kind of makes the answer look pretty. Only 26 lines. It makes the text look pretty, and its response is available. Now let's try it out. Let's say from summer 2025, which question talks about binary system? Excuse the spelling mistakes, but it's using the chat model. It's gonna use retrieval. It's gonna search up the Superbase because I've saved all of that, and it's gonna format the answer. It's gonna respond back to the webhook, and boom, we have an answer, which I'm gonna show you in a second. The question that talks about binary is in 2025 May-June exam. Specifically, it is question 5, which has part labeled 5C and 5D. Would you like more details about that question? Now, how absolute amazing it is that if I study something, if I like today I studied binary to decimal and decimal to binary and all that, and I could just click a button. I can use the voice to text thing. I can use different ways to approach this, but in simple terms, as of right now, the MVP that I've built, the minimum viable product that any student can access, is they can hop in here, and the database has all of the past papers, so it has plenty of information about your CI exams than the examiner itself, and it can help you do the answer. Now, as of right now, has been fitted with only summer 2025 exam papers, and I could like put all the let's say like 10 years time frame past papers, and I could say to him, and it actually works. It is tested. I can show in a couple seconds, which is that I can ask, tell me all the questions about binary that have come across the past 10 years, and only which are important or have the maximum marks. So a lot of queries you can do. It's like, you need to be good at prompting. So this, I'm going to show you. I'm going to tap another thing, and this is that retrieval of the data that has been embedded to the Superbase vectors store, where you can chat to the bot and it can give you precise answers to how you can be how can you be better in ALS exams, how can you prepare for better. Now, this is quite a long video. Now we have chat API. Let's type another thing, a little small thing. List me their marks and the question itself. Webhook, it's gonna format it and it feels good. The AI agent, a cycle, and I'm waiting for the response. Ooh, okay. This is not look good looking thing. We're gonna ignore that. Let's look this part of the. And if you could read. So if you could read this, here are the questions. Here are the questions along with their marks. Question: no specific question text provided. Huh. But it mentioned no mark for choices, but losses most appropriate. Okay, that's one wrong thing, which has been told. Question 2B2. Marks not specified. So you didn't get the marks because it was written like little off bit format or the code wasn't really trying to get it. But what it says is, but it mentions 2 marks, 2C, 1 mark each, related to modems and dedicated lines. Mark 2, 2 and 3, question number no specific text provided. 1 mark, 1 is related to the term smallest element makes up an image. Did I? Is it? So, the smallest element that makes up an image and the largest number of different colors is depth of a bits. Mark 1. It did pick up the sentence, but it didn't pick up the whole context, and this is where the the simple from PDF to binary is kind of fails, which is during embedding. So if you could like, so this kind of whole unreliable answer comes from bad embedding. If I could like embed it using high quality question formatting, if it kind of it can grab the questions better, that it would like retrieve it better, and does the whole game. Now let's say, do you have to save it? No need. Let's talk about the last workflow, which is a search API. Seems pretty simple. This one was the quickest to make and quite exciting one. My favorites. So if I make a post to this thing, it's gonna check if it's an image. So basically, I can't show you the front end. It's gonna be too long. So what it does is, I can like put a text or scan a photo of something that has been drawn in the board or my notebook. Let's say the question says x plus y equals 2, and what's the answer for y, and one example. It's gonna check if it's an image. If it's an image, it's gonna go here. It's gonna set query. So what it does is, what it does, I don't remember. JSON body manual mapping. Wait, this should be connected here. So what it is, if it's an image, it's gonna go to ChatGPT. ChatGPT is gonna analyze, and it's gonna explain the image in the text only way. It's gonna text, and it's gonna like put it in the merge thing. This should be gone like, this feels nice. Now if it's not an image, it's gonna like format the question and put it here. Once it has been mapped out or formatted, it's gonna come here, edit fields, It's gonna specify what the question is, and let's if I put like x plus y is equal to, it's gonna go here. If it's like written in an image, same thing will come from here, same thing will come from here if I put it in text or image, and it's gonna say x plus y equal to. It's gonna come to this pipeline and it's gonna format it as a question, and it's gonna search x plus y equal to the whole database, and it's gonna format just like the same thing we did there, and it's gonna respond to the webhook. The difference between that and the chat is this one doesn't have an AI agent in it, which makes it less hallucinating. And if we when we remove the AI agent from it, the probability of familiarity or something specific you can find on the superbase is really high, because if you're using AI agents or before we were using AI to use similar words. So if I said like binary, it could like pull up decimals and binary conversions, etc. Something not really related. Or if I like talk about compression, it's gonna it's gonna pull up lossless or lossyless things. But in here, if I put here conversion or what is the thing that zip2 does? So it can like look for the exact thing, which is way more formal and predictable and accurate. So these are the two things. Now the main reason for abandoning this is the use case is quite can't focus. I love what I did here. It it works good. Just need some fine tuning. But the reason for abandoning this is if I go to chat API, I'm gonna show you one thing which I didn't do earlier, which is costed me about like I spent like 20 hours making these three things, and it was a waste because I didn't do one thing that I should have done before. How do I go to the last session? If I copy this and go to ChatGPT, which kind of gets funny here because I didn't try this earlier. I paste the same thing and I specify off Cambridge A level computer science specify the question number. And it's gonna go to the same website I downloaded the PDF from, and it gives out the answer. So the reason for abandoning this is it kind of exists, and because the main reason for not doing it is because I'm dealing with a reliable option, and I do cover a great basic need where it really helps me and other people during A levels. But if I had to choose between my product and this one, I think this is just as reliable or even good than mine. So use that thing, not mine, even if I build it. But Random Pinner. I'm gonna do this again. Random Pinner was good, and I'm proud of it. And this one just gives out the sources as well as as I've mentioned before. This is what I wanted. Hmm. Okay, this is not a past paper. Yeah, so using many trusted sources here. This one is using the PDF itself, and interestingly, this one has ChatGPT in the URL. So yeah, this one is. I'm gonna close the video. And in summary, I had a problem during A levels. It was a frustration combining the past papers and the teacher lectures and the physical notes with the past papers, and I had to merge it. And I was on the track for 2 to 3 days, spent 20 hours, and then one day I'm in the class and I'm thinking I haven't built that app. Let me try doing the ChatGPT thing today. And I did. I put the camera there, and it said it's from this past paper. I was like, huh, this web search is way good than mine. And I was just thinking because I need to have a database. that that wasn't really true. It can like fetch out from the web itself. And for this OpenAI thing, it's working reliably here. And for all of you watching, thank you for your time.